All right, class, Mr. Cooper here. We are diving into the Impact Today section of Chapter 2. This is going to be on page 106. So go ahead and find your way there. We're going to be talking about why do products and ideas move from place to place. It's a super interesting topic, super important, especially today. Not just in history, but more so today. So markets and resources. Let's read and follow along as I read out loud. European explorers in the 1400s wanted to find new markets where they could trade and find goods that Europeans needed or wanted, such as gems, silk, and spices. When they arrived in the Western Hemisphere, they found raw materials such as crops, minerals, and lumber, as well as gold and other riches. Today, lack of resources and demand for specific products and services continue to drive trade between countries. So let's stop there and ask ourselves, why did European explorers want to find new markets? Go ahead and pause the video and talk with your partner. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. In a market economy, people are allowed to buy and sell goods and services with little control by the government. Trade flourishes in a market economy because people can trade almost anything they want. Buyers seek to purchase the highest quality goods and services with the money they have available. Sellers of goods and services seek to make high profits. Profit is the difference between the cost of making the good or delivering the service and what it is sold for. So here we have two really good things that we need to put in our notes. We have a market economy. In a market economy, people are allowed to buy and sell goods and services with little control by the government. Right? So that's an important idea. That should be highlighted and that should be taken down in your notes. And then the next thing that we need to talk about is, what is profit? Profit is it's a super important concept, right? Profit is the difference between the cost of making the good or delivering the service and what it is sold for. So if I make pizzas and I sell those pizzas for $10, well, if it costs me $8 to make the pizza and I'm selling it for $10, my profit was $2. Right? So the profit is what I actually earned, what I actually made, right? After all the things that it cost me are taken out. So go ahead and write these down in your notebook, talk about them with your partner, and then let's go ahead and keep moving. The most important goods in a nation's economy often depend on what resources the nation has available. For example, a country with plenty of fertile soil and regular rainfall can raise large amounts of valuable crops. A country with plentiful mineral resources can manufacture metals such as steel. Large forests can provide the resources for a lumber industry. An outstanding educational system would be a helpful resource for a technology industry. Right? So the main idea is that certain areas are better for certain things, and then so that makes it a good choice to make things in there. So let's stop right here, and I want you to turn and talk with your partner. What's something that we have here in southern Idaho? What are some things that make this area good for certain resources and industries? Pause the video and talk about it with your partner, and then let's move on. In the Western Hemisphere, there are many regions well suited to growing grain and soybeans, especially in the Great Plains region of the United States and Canada. In both North and South America, much of these crops are used to feed cattle, pigs, and chickens. In the tropical regions of Latin America and the Caribbean, the climate creates ideal conditions for growing coffee beans and sugar canes. So, draw our attention right here. Much of these crops are used to feed cattle, pigs, and chickens. We see that here in Gooding, Idaho, right? We have lots of people that are farmers and they grow a lot of hay. And a ton of that hay, most of that hay goes to the dairies that are also here with the dairymen that have cows, right? And so the farmers are growing food to bring to the dairy the dairies that are in the area, right? Because the dairy industry in this area is very, very big and important. All right, so that's just one example. Moving on, the Spanish explorers who first arrived in the Western Hemisphere grew wealthy from the region's gold and silver. Today, gold is still an important mineral in Peru and in North America. But the most important mineral resource is petroleum. Nations with large oil reserves include Canada, Venezuela, the United States, Brazil, and Ecuador. Other important mineral resources include iron ore and coal. Right, so gold and silver, everybody, still popular today. But in today's economy, large oil, petroleum, which is what we make oil out of, is super important. Why do we think that petroleum and oil is such an important mineral, an important resource in today's economy? I want you to stop the video and talk about it with your friends. Okay. Let's keep reading. The combination of natural resources, human resources, education, and technology can help countries grow key industries. The aerospace industry plays a key role in the economies of the United States and Brazil. The United States produces many of the largest jet airplanes, and Brazil produces many mid-sized jet airplanes. So, another one, natural resources, education, technology. Not a lot of places could just make airplanes, right? You need a lot of stuff to build an airplane, and you also need people that are very well educated and know a lot about science and math and engineering that are able to build airplanes, right? And so not a lot of countries have all of those things together, right? Which makes United States and places like Brazil very unique. Okay, let's keep moving. So now we're going to talk about trade. So let's read this first paragraph. Because the United States economy is so large and foreign trade plays a key role in its success, U.S. goods are shipped to all parts of the world, and dozens of nations ship goods to the United States. The goods and services sent to other countries are called exports, and the goods and services received from other countries are called imports. These are things that we need to take notes on. Goods and services sent to other countries are called exports. And goods and services received from other countries are called imports. Go ahead and copy those down in your notes. Pause the video if you need to. We're going to move on. U.S. exported goods include both manufactured products and raw materials. Electronic goods and transportation equipment are important categories of manufactured exports. Among the raw materials and agricultural products exported are petroleum and soybeans. Multinational corporations handle much of the world's foreign trade. These companies have offices in more than one country. Countries examine imported goods for quality. They also may charge a fee called a tariff on imported goods. Multinational corporations must understand manufacturing and trade rules of different countries to be successful. So we have something, a fee called a tariff on imported goods. So tariffs are things that we have. America has tons of tariffs. Most countries, most modern countries have a tariff of some sort. And a tariff is if you want to bring your stuff from your country to America to sell it, you have to give America a little bit of money to be able to bring it in. And it's kind of like taxes in a lot of ways. We use that money from tariff to pay for things here in America, right? And so tariffs are a big part of today's economies. Services also play an important part in foreign trade. Saving money in banks and flying foreign airlines are examples of services people use from different countries. So that's really important because America does have things like crops and certain technology that we export to other places, but America doesn't make as much stuff as other countries. America has a lot of educated people, and they're able to do services like things like in technology and software and programming video games and things like that. Those things take special skills, and America has a lot of people that can do those kinds of things, right? So a service is not just a thing. It's not a thing that we can hold. It's something that we do for people that people pay money for. So here we see in this chart an example of some goods imported. So Canada, most valuable U.S. goods imported. So Canada, Mexico, and Brazil, they import stuff from America. That means America exports it to them. They import it. So Canada imports automobiles and automobile parts. Mexico imports automobile parts and electrical equipment. Brazil imports things like petroleum and airplanes. Very good. Let's keep moving. So, markets and resources. When Europeans arrived in the Western Hemisphere in the late 1400s, they were looking to trade. Trade with Asia had brought vast riches to Europe, and Europeans were trying to find a shorter route to India and other Asian countries. The European countries that sent explorers westward included Spain, England, France, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Sweden. So now you'll investigate the impact of foreign trade today. So let's talk about it. Look at the ships. The two photos show a ship from the time of European exploration. That's this one up here. And of the Americas, and a ship from today, this one here. Both of these ships carry goods for trade. What products do you think we get from ships from foreign countries today? Why do you think we need to import these products? So let's talk first about this one. What products do you think we get from ships from foreign countries today? And then the second one, why do you think we need to import these products? So why would we bring them here? Talk with your partner about it. Go ahead and turn to talk and pause the video. So we have another think about it. Think about a popular product or service that people in the United States import. So something that we bring to the United States. Why do we import this product? Then think about a product or service that the United States exports. Why do other countries want this product? So I want you to talk about these things. There's two questions. Why do we import the thing that we do? And then think of something that we export, and then talk with your partner. Why do we export it? Go ahead and pause the video and talk about that.